I'm currently standing in the Two Indy Way State Park in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and I know I probably destroyed that name. Um, but hey, I never claimed to be an expert in Native American language. But at this location, we do have a very interesting grave to visit today. Chief Cornstalk, which is basically a legend of the Shawnee here in Point Pleasant. Originally born in Pennsylvania, migrated this way, and just a fascinating story. We're going to take a look at that today. Also, I uh, I heard Steve on the Visiting Grave Sites with Steve channel talk about the term fringe famous, and I see what he's talking about because there are a lot of good stories out there of people who are what you would say fringe famous, and there is one in this cemetery in this location today that we're going to take a look at. Stick with me later through the video, and I've got another fantastic story to tell. As I'm making my way over to Chief Cornstalk's grave, I want to remind everyone to find me on Facebook. Just search for Whitdock's Famous Graves in History. Also, I have joined the Instagram world, so you can find me there as well. Just at Whitdock's, search me, find me. I would love to see you there. I'm going to be posting some photos from my journeys, and would love to see you there. Here's the monument of Chief Cornstalk. A few things that I found interesting in my preparation for today's video. One, and I'm going to get a little closer, I did not realize just how old or how long ago he died. 1777. I just, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking that he was not this old, but sure enough, he is. And we're talking, I mean, he died during the infancy of our country, so there's definitely some age here. Another interesting note about Cornstalk, which you'll not read in the history books because, you know, you really don't have any reason to care, but my Cornstalk's daughter was supposedly married to one of my great on down the line uncles, which, I mean, no blood relation to me, but supposedly I do have cousins out there who are descendants of Chief Cornstalk, so a little history about me that you may or may not find interesting, but there it is nonetheless. Now, something else you may not associate with West Virginia is the Native American culture. This monument, which I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was here, and it is absolutely massive. I'm going to try to pan up so you can see all this. This monument was erected to commemorate as a remembrance of the Battle of Point Pleasant, which the Battle of Point Pleasant was a battle that took place between, really it was the colonial army and a band of Native American warriors who banded together, and I mean there was a great loss of life at the Battle of Point Pleasant, which I'll pan this way. It's Point Pleasant is really where the Ohio River and the Kanawha River kind of come together, and you can see there. But this is a beautiful park. Didn't realize how nice it was. I'd never been here before. It's really not all that far from where I live, but nice place to visit. Get another view of the monument. That is just, that's a big one. I did not, like I said, I did not realize this was even here. Here's a little plaque on the monument that kind of gives a representation of the scene and everything I can gather. Apparently it was a pretty bloody and a pretty bad situation. Now, I told you at the beginning of the video, if you stuck with me, I would walk over and show you someone who definitely has some fringe fame. We're going to visit the grave of Ann Bailey, which I know that name does not ring a bell unless you're familiar with this area. She was otherwise known as Mad Ann. Now, you don't get the nickname Mad Ann unless you've got some kind of a story to back that up, and apparently Mad Ann Bailey backs that up. So here's the back side of the memorial for Mad Ann Bailey. Let me go ahead and go around to the front. and I'll tell you just a little bit more about her story. Look at that face right there. So Mad Ann Bailey was married to a guy named Richard Trotter. He was killed at the Battle of Point Pleasant. Now, to avenge her husband's death, Mad Ann actually dressed as a soldier, dressed in buckskins, and galloped off to avenge her husband's death. And she would go to, you can see on the plaque here, she would go carrying messages and later marry John Bailey. But she rode 200 miles from Fort Lee to Fort Savannah for gunpowder in 1790, and the ride saved the fort. And in honor of her heroism, Anne was presented with a black horse that she rode. But yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, this was a loving woman. Just want to get another shot of this huge monument here to commemorate the Battle of Point Pleasant. This is the opposite side of where we were. Beautiful day. It's a good day to have the aviator sunglasses on, I will tell you that. We have another monument here called the Magazine, and that really it's surrounding the area that we are. The Magazine dedicated to the militiamen who were buried in the Magazine in the surrounding battlefield on October 11, 1774. There's some names on there of the ones who lost their life, and this always hits me. And the unknown. I mean, there's obviously some people buried, their remains all around us in unmarked graves, and probably boys and men who never made it home. So anytime I see that, I always want to honor the unknown. We have a monument here dedicated to the memory of Revolutionary soldiers buried in Mason County, West Virginia. Go ahead and take a look at that. Several names on there. And again, this is dedicated to the graves known and unknown. I want to give another look at the park from a different angle. You can see, I mean, this is just a beautiful area, and I do highly recommend to visit Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Look it up, right on the river. Just an absolutely gorgeous day to be out, and you know, my compliments to the city of Point Pleasant, or the state, whoever keeps this up. This is a great visit, and I would highly recommend anyone coming here for the graves, the monuments, the memorials. Just a beautiful, beautiful area. I do want to thank everyone for watching today's video, and thank you for your support of the Whit Docs channel. This is a labor of love for me, just something that I enjoy doing. I've always loved visiting old cemeteries and old graves, and the history that goes with it, and the fringe fame. Again, to borrow that term off Steve, I really enjoyed learning of Mad Ann Bailey. If it wasn't for this, I would have never known who Mad Ann Bailey was. And obviously she loved her band. She went after the people responsible. This new world of Instagram, find me at Whit Docs on Instagram. We'll learn that one together. I'm not too sure about it yet. Find me on Facebook, Whit Docs Famous Graves in History, and please click subscribe. That helps more than you know, and it'll allow me to keep doing these videos and keep bringing this kind of stuff to you. Again, thank you. I really, really appreciate you watching. Have a great day.